Greetings and much blessings. I want to talk about something that I've noticed a lot more personally, but even just from around the way of a lot of things I've seen around the way. And maybe some of you all can relate to this since I'm at the date of this video still representing the younger generation. I'm noticing that a lot of the older generation, they're just becoming more nihilistic as far as you can't really go to them for advice as far as just trying to see a better tomorrow, let alone just trying to make it through life. But even this idea of a better tomorrow, they're still trying to figure out what their tomorrow is going to look like. They're still growing up in many ways, like you are. And see, a lot of the previous generation after the baby boomers, a lot of them, even some of the later baby boomers, just started to represent the beginning of what Gen X, as well as Gen Y and Gen Z are dealing with as of now. Gen Alpha, they might actually have a different and I believe slightly better outlook on life, depending on how this society will go, especially if it's up to them to do something about it after a lot of us are long gone. But while we're still here, I've noticed that a lot of my peers really don't see a future that's clear. So I can't talk to them about nothing regarding life, love, liberty, in the pursuit of happiness, but also, in essence, just things spiritual. They might have some idea of spiritual, but it doesn't translate into the natural because they don't have that type of faith. They might not admit that, of course, but that's still reality because faith is part of how you perceive reality, as they say, or as it's written. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. So, reality for a lot of people with faith has to be beyond what you can actually see now. You have to think bigger than your circumstance a lot of times. But a lot of times, when you have people that are more nihilistic, they are only limited to the circumstance, whether it's your circumstance or their circumstance. So there's not a lot they can do, and there's not a lot they know you can do. And I think that's even a bummer, a greater bummer, that there's not a lot they think you can do. They just hope you can tighten up your bootstraps, pick up things by the bootstraps, and see how this thing ride out. They look at life like as if it's a rodeo a lot of times. And granted, if you're a great bull rider, you can say that, but even bull riders have retired. They don't like to do it for too long. They know it's just not worth the risk. So it's kind of unfortunate that we got to look at life like that. And a lot of people have tapped out on life, hoping they can just live off their social security, let the rest of the world and the rest of these young people coming up deal with what's to come if that's what they think. They hope they can time out, tap out before the worst things are to come about in this life that we live. And think about it, some of them already be like, well, they going on to the better side. Whatever they see as far as what paradise is concerned, because they see currently life now in this known reality, natural. They see that as hell right now, hell on earth. Uh, People see that right now. They be like, yo, that person ain't got to suffer no more. They've already passed along. And it's like, well, what was the purpose of life if you're more concerned about, man, maybe it's better upon death? Like, that's just kind of unfortunate. Like, we're here to live a life. We're not here to just be planning on thinking that life is better upon death, if that makes sense to y'all. Uh, and you have it to where some cultures and some people, they actually live life thinking more about death. Life to them is just, they see on the religious side of it as we're just passing through here. So you just try to do what you can to get by every day. And I'm like, well, does that kind of defeat the purpose of why we are even here? So I say is to say that when you talk to a lot of your peers, a lot of those type of answers I just mentioned is usually the norm. So if one can definitely relate to that, please let me know because I just find it's unfortunate that for the generation to come, they might not have any peers and they're going to have to basically make their own boots to strap up with, unfortunately. So it also just seems like for whoever is in this current generation of Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z, if you don't really see anything more positive to come in your life, you're not going to really be able to offer that to anybody else after you. You won't have that advice because you weren't necessarily even given that advice. And I find that unfortunate. So, my goal as Ray the Roamer, I've picked up a lot of things while I've been roaming, especially given that I haven't had a lot of people to talk to along the way. But nevertheless, I've continued to be blessed, and I'm here to be a blessing to you all. And of course, I do look forward to those who have blessed me along the way. There have been a few, and I'm very thankful for those, not just material blessings, but even words of encouragement, especially as to what's to come, because they might not see it, but they see me as someone that has been given vision or revelation. So it's like, yo, whatever the creator has in mind for you, it is especially for you. And I'm going to keep you in prayers because I did not necessarily receive that portion of vision or I didn't believe. So this is where my life has me as an older person. It has me in a sense of where I'm literally immobile, but you are because you're Ray the Roamer.